Hello and
Hi.
welcome to the paper money of Louisiana and Puerto Rico during the late 18th century with Angelo Navarro Zayas. So Angel, you've got your camera and audio running, so you can go ahead and get your presentation pulled up. So Angel is a numismatist and Puerto Rican historian and has been for 15 years. He participated in the ANA Summer Seminar with John Kraljevich and Charlie Davis as mentors and has been published in the Numismatist, the Journal of Early American Numismatics, Numiexpo Magazine, which is a Puerto Rican publication, and the Documenta Instrumenta Journal published by the Universidad Complutense de Madrid. So, published author, and we are excited to have you. So let's go ahead and get started. And I will be jumping in every now and then with questions and comments per Angel's request. So let's get going.
Thank you, Liana. Thank you. Hi. Today, first of all, I would like to begin with saying that my heart goes out to the people in Louisiana and Texas due to the struggles they've suffered of Hurricane Laura. And with that being said, I would like to begin my presentation of the Spanish paper money that was made in Louisiana and Puerto Rico during the late 18th century. This research has been made possible also by the 2020 Newman Grant by the EPNNES people. First of all, let me see. Page down. Okay. I'm having difficulty here. What is wrong here? I can go for difficulty.
Anything I can help with?
Yes, I cannot. Okay, here we go. Okay. First of all, in our research, I've been working on this for the past 15 years. I've been working, in this research, we make a brief presentation and analysis of the paper money that was issued during 1781 during the reign of Carlos III, which responded to the lack of the Mexican subsidy, which was an annual money that people in Puerto Rico received. That money was used for quite some time for the building of the forts in Old San Juan and to pay the militaries. And that money was also used for the people in Cuba, and also it got to the what is now the Dominican Republic. There was a previous issue of paper money. It was done in 1766. It was also due to the lack of the Mexican subsidy or the situado that arrived in Puerto Rico annually. Oh, there's something wrong here. Sorry. Here's a painting of Carlos III de Bourbon and Governor José de Fresne. The governor José de Fresne was the governor where at the time where it was made the paper money of 1781, which we discovered in the General Archives of Seville. This painting by José de Fresne was made by José Campeche, which by a coincidence, which was he was mentored by José Campeche, was mentored by one of the painters that actually painted in the paper money of Louisiana. For that research being done, I received an award by the American Numismatic Association, this research was published in October 2018. And afterwards, it was also published in the Journal of Early American Numismatic, which is published by the American Numismatic Society, whose editor is Mr. Christopher McDowell. He's a great human being, a great joy to work with, and he and his school are great people. Puerto Rico received this annual money for almost a period of 222 years, from 1587 in 1809. It was because of necessity. The island received in 16th century many attacks from pirates, and due to that, they had to build and make the fortifications of Old San Juan. This money finally stopped arriving to the island when the independence of Mexico took place in the 19th century. As I've been saying, in the event that the Mexican subsidy did not arrive to the island, what it did is it plunged the island into a major economic crisis. So during the second half of the 18th century, when Spain was fighting against England, aiding the newly formed United States of America, one of the measures with negative effects on Puerto Rico as a result was that absence of the Mexican subsidy. So they had to issue the provisional paper money. The first written account that we found, secondary document, was published in 1832 that talks about the issuance of the paper money of 1766. It was published in 1832 by Pedro Tomás de Córdoba. And I've translated what is in red, that in his states of the paper money of 1766, they had to issue paper money of 8 reales due to the lack of coinage, scarcity of coins, paper money that was later going to be eliminated with the arrival of the Mexican subsidy. Furthermore, in 1781, he also states, Pedro Tomás de Córdoba, in the same book, published in 1832, he states that in July 17th, 1781, when the paper money began to be issued due to the timely lack of the Mexican subsidy until the end of March 1785. You see, there's a part of the, so Humberto Burcio, also we found in the historian Humberto Burcio, wrote in 1958 in his famous Diccionario de la Moneda Hispanoamericana, he wrote that Puerto Rico had the privilege of having surely been the first Spanish possession in America to issue paper money due to a lack of metallic currency. The singular event occurred within Latin American monetary policy in 1810 due to the fact that the Mexican subsidy did not arrive. This happened, this was published in 1958 by Humberto Burcio. Are you there, Diana?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay.
Here.
And so this was incongruent because Humberto Burcio did not have at the time the reference by Pedro Tomás de Córdoba, which was published in 1832. So according to the evidence that we found in the description of the online catalog of the Spanish archives, it mentions the paper money from Puerto Rico from 1781 were, in our opinion, made of xylographs paired with engraved wooden plates. This is a picture here of the General Archives of the Indies in Seville. Here we can see the Vale of Ocho Reales, which is the paper money from 1781. You can see it's unifacial. It has 2 signatures, one of which is unknown, and the other one is from Gabriel Tinajero.
So are the signatures the part under the Vale Ocho Reales?
That is correct. Those are the signatures, yeah. And I also want to point out that you see on the right upper hand of the left paper money, there's a stamp by the General Archives of the Indies that says Archivo General de Indias, Sevilla. We're going to go on that topic in a little bit further. This one is the same one, but it has the numbering 313, 709, which was the amount of paper money that was about to be issued. And we're going to go over that because there's evidence that, written evidence of the states, the evidence that it was made in Puerto Rico. Okay, so this one is the Vale of Cuatro Reales. This was also made in Puerto Rico. And it also, there's a second one, is also unifacial. And this one has the number written, Vale Cuatro Reales, and the number 29,000, okay? And it was also made in the 30th of October, 1781, due to the lack of coinage. Okay, these are the transcriptions of the letters. There were very few letters accompanying the paper money that was located in the General Archives of the Indies. Here's the transcription. There it says that it was the paper money was issued due to the lack of coinage. Okay, that's more or less the transcription. And To this end, the paper money was made in two species, one of them of the value of 8 reales and the other one of 4 reales, numbered, sealed with the coat of arms, and there it says we accompany this paper with two examples. That's why it's written in red. That's what I'm translating. And it's been going in around the island since July. Okay, and the date is October 27, 1781, and you can see the transcription of Joseph Dufresne, which is a governor at the time of the issuance of the paper money, which is the painting we saw at the second slide. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also part of the letter that is found in the General Archives of the Indies, which talks about the issuance of the paper money. But we're going to go here on the next part of the letter, which is fairly long. And it says that the paper money was going to be used during the daytime, and we added to the lack of money. Basically that, and it runs around the whole island, okay? And it was, here it says estampado, which is the stamp, and here we can see the two numberings. One is 313,709, which is making reference to the one we saw earlier, and 29,000, the 4 reales, and the one of the 8 reales, which is 313,709. And Gabriel Tinajero, which was the royal accountant here in Puerto Rico. Here you can see the signature of Joseph Dufresne, the governor of Puerto Rico, and you can see Gabriel Tinajero's signature, which is the same in both paper money. You can see it clearly. They're both in both paper money. They're fairly similar. Joseph Dufresne signature is not included in the paper money. It's Gabriel Tinajero, which was the accountant at the time in Puerto Rico. So, so you might be asking, what would be the relationship between the Spanish paper money of Puerto Rico and the paper money of Louisiana? Well, since I took the 2015 summer seminar at the American Numismatic Association, I've been doing research since that time using the archives in Spain, and I've been searching for the 1766 paper money of Puerto Rico. And while searching for that, I came across the paper money of Louisiana. Every time I have a question about paper money of the United States, I always go back and ask John, because he was the mentor of he's an expert, yes, he's the expert of early numismatics. And after he saw the paper money, he went and looked up the early paper money of America, written by Newman, and I did not know at the time the reference. And he looked it up and says, he's like, I don't see this here. This looks like a good article you can write an article for that for the numismatists. And this was the paper money that you see here, is the one that I found in the archive in Seville. And this other one was the other one that I found in Seville, and John also encouraged me to write an article for the numismatists, which was the one that I wrote, and I got the prize. So this one on the left side is the one that was published by Eric P. Newman in his book, and on the left side is the paper money we see is the same one. It's this one on the very one, except that in the Newman's book, the whole paper money is not shown. Only this part here on the left upper side, and also on Newman's book, we can find that he has this billetes vale por 8 reales, and is part of this it's like example of how the paper money was going to be made in April of 1782 in Louisiana. Now I have two possibilities of how this paper money was to be made. This paper money, I have theory that it was going to filled out by hand, and and it was going to be issued from bills of 1 pesos, which was going to be numbered by hand from 1 to 5,000, 50,000, I'm sorry, and from 50,000 to 70,000, the ones of 2 pesos, and so forth. But now I have that's my first theory that was going to be issued. That's just a theory, and so if this paper money, if of 2 pesos and 2.5 pesos were to be found, they most likely would be in Spain. Why would they would be in Spain if they appear, if they are? Because whenever the Spanish made a royal document, they always sent copies to Spain to be archived there. And since there was a big fire in 1794 in Louisiana and New Orleans, so most likely, if there were copies there, most likely they were destroyed. So what I'm guessing is that if there are copies, if they exist, they must be in the General Archives in Seville. That's just a theory.
Are those something that you're actively searching for?
Yes, I am hoping that maybe I can find something. I just have to look. If they are, they're not going to be most likely cataloged. They're just maybe inside a whole file folder and just find it randomly. But just a wild guess that I'm hoping that maybe I can find it that way. So, and now you can see here, this one on the left side is the one presented by Newman in his book by the early paper money of United States, and this one he attributed to the Louisiana. That, it's very funny because when John told me about the paper money of Louisiana and to check out the reference by Newman, I looked up the reference, and to my surprise, I found this paper money which Newman attributed to New Orleans, and I said, "Whoa, this is the one, the same I have for Puerto Rico in 1781." So it was like, wow. So, and I kept on searching, and this is also the one on the middle that was also found and made for Puerto Rico. And so my one thing that I've been that I have proposed is that most likely I've talked to several historians such as Jorge Proctor. Jorge Proctor told me that back in early 1990s, before the 5th century or quinto centenario, fifth century anniversary,
15th,
fifth century,
okay.
5th century anniversary of the discovery of America, of whole America as a continent, and the archive was all part of it was like cataloged, and what I'm thinking is maybe when this was miscatalogued, this is a wild guess, and it was thought to be maybe at the time Louisiana, but the evidence found and published in 2014 it strongly suggests that it was made indeed in Puerto Rico. And what I stand is that you see this the Archivo General de Sevilla, this upper right hand corner stamp. Mm-hmm. It's the same one here in the one in Puerto Rico that I published in 1781. So what I'm guessing is that it's just the same paper money. It's just the same paper money. It's sorry. And here we can see it's a video of a composition that I made. This is the paper money of Puerto Rico, and this is the one published by Newman. See there's a stamp, same place. And there is a composition of both paper money. You see, it's in the same spot. Once again, here's the one for Puerto Rico in yellow, the one made by Newman in red, and the composition of both is found in orange. So what I'm proposing is that it is actually the paper money of Puerto Rico. I've talked to also numismatists in Puerto Rico here, and they said that it's highly unlikely that the same accountant that was in Puerto Rico would be in Louisiana almost at the same time and sign the paper money. It's highly unlikely. So, oh, sorry, let me, next one. Okay. This was the statement made by Mr. Newman. The issue, he said, the peso numerations are detailed on a manuscript. The issue was printed in Spain and was for the first paper money prepared for Spain or its dominions. The lowest three denomination in reales were undated. So as you can see, it was the 1766 paper money. Puerto Rico was the first one made, but it has not been found so far. So those vales reales, what I also call it royal vouchers, is the ones we're going to talk about next. Those were made by royal decree by the Council of the Indies as a series of royal vouchers or vales reales, paper money, that were going to be prepared and stamped in order to obtain relief for Louisiana due to the fire that occurred in 1794. 8 different models were made of this paper money, and a couple of them were made by Jose Jimeno, and the other 3 were made by Luis Pared de Alcázar. And Luis Pared de Alcázar was the mentor of the painter that we saw that made the painting by Governor Dufresne. He was mentor of Jose Campeche. It's kind of funny because Jose Campeche is the first well-known artist in Puerto Rico, and Jose Campeche also did the first numismatic drawing in our island in 1795. And so this is Luis Pared de Alcázar. He was actually in Puerto Rico because he was exiled due to improper conduct in the King's Court, and that's when he had his protege as Jose Campeche. He painted himself as a Puerto Rican at the time, and so to send it to the king. Well, okay. And Jose Jimeno was a painter and engraver born in Valencia. He died in Madrid, and he was also very famous there. There's a very famous paintings there. This is the first paper money. Those actual paper money were not used. It was 25 pesos. This one, you can see it in Newman's book. Okay, this is a 25 pesos. The next one is made of 30 pesos. We published this article. We published this one. There were 2 specimens of this one that were never used. It was published in the Journal of Early American Numismatics. This one was made by Jose Jimeno. This one is the 40 pesos. Also, the paper money was going to be used for aiding Louisiana because of the fire of 1794. This one is made by Luis Pared. He's paid 50 pesos. He was the mentor of Jose Campeche, our first international painter. And this one is of 60 pesos, which is also made by Luis Pared de Alcázar. This one is 70 pesos. And first of all, you can see all of these engravings. They have this amphora here, which represents the Mississippi River. And yeah, and this also have the Spanish crown and the columns of Spain.
Yeah, I noticed the shield and the crown with the columns was the Spanish.
Yeah, the Spanish, yeah. And this one is made of 80 pesos by Luis Pared de Alcázar. And this one is of 90 pesos by Jose Jimeno. And the last one is the 100 pesos, which was also made by Jose Jimeno. These are all found in the General Archives in Seville. And what I mentioned, I did not show here, but I did publish it on the Journal of Early American Numismatics. There is a set of those this same paper money. They're from the 25 pesos all the way to the 100 pesos. There's a copy of them. So there are, up to my knowledge, there's only 2 existing specimens of this paper money. up to my knowledge, there's only two of each. So they're all located in Seville. Okay.
So these never circulated.
They never circulated. No, they never circulated. And so the other one, this one are cataloged individually in Seville, but the other ones are inside a folder in a file in Seville. That's why I'm guessing that if the paper money of different denominations from 1783 would be found as the same as these other ones that are found inside the file, and they're not cataloged individually.
Right.
That's what, yeah. So this is an email I sent back in 2017 to Maria Teresa Muñoz Cerrulla, which is a scholar in the Universidad Complutense de Madrid, and I asked her if she knew anything about this paper money that was found in Spain. And she at the time she did not know anything. She said that on the subject that you indicate, I have not located anything. I checked the catalog of the archives of Madrid Mint, but there are no documents in this regard. I have reviewed everything I have on hand. I have not found anything. If I found something, I'll write to you. So she's an expert. She's a well-known scholar in numismatics there in Spain. She writes. She does a lot of research on numismatics, and she did not know. Yeah, she did not know about anything. So it was kind of. I was very happy to find this in as a surprise. It would surprise me because I was looking for something for the 1766 paper money of Puerto Rico, and by chance, or I would say, I don't know, luck, I found I came across this. So, and that's why I published it in both the American Numismatic Association, Numismatists, and the Journal of Early American Numismatics. Okay, so as a conclusion, the paper money of Spanish colonial New Orleans is a novel topic for us. We are certain that they have not been reported in the U.S. numismatic literature. We have not been able yet to confirm that they are unknown in the numismatic literature on the other side of the Atlantic. What I'm saying is that I don't know if they're unknown in Spain or Europe, but since this Maria Teresa Muñoz Cerrulla told me she does not know them. It's for me it's a good indicator that it is unknown in Spain and Europe. We have found very few primary sources to reconstruct the history behind the Louisiana paper money. That is one of the reasons I'm going in with the 2020 Newman Grant to do further research on this topic. The exhaustive and thorough research for the paper money of 1766 has led us both hand in hand to the discovery of the paper money of Puerto Rico from 1781 and the Louisiana paper money of 1782 and 95. And quoting Dr. Jorge Crespo Armaiz, he's one of my mentors here in Puerto Rico on Puertorican Numismatics. He was also past president of the Sociedad Numismática de Puerto Rico. For the paper money of 1781, this is one of the greatest numismatist discoveries in our monetary history, perhaps in decades. And these paper money of 1781 in denominations of 8 reales and 4 reales are the oldest ones reported for Puerto Rico of so far, and we probably dare to say that they are the oldest in Latin America.
Wow.
They're the oldest ones. In Dominican Republic, they made paper money in 1782. In Cuba, they also used 1782 paper money, also because of scarcity of coinage. And we can see that they are both printed on one side, unifacial, and they have the signature of Gabriel Tinajero. The other one is unknown. They all have copies of the royal seal. For the paper money of Puerto Rico from 1781, we've only had access to two primary resources, two primary manuscripts, and to further reconstruct the history of Puerto Rico, of the coinage, issuance of the paper money of Puerto Rico, I'm sorry. We have resorted to the secondary sources, which we have discussed, but very little is written about it. No copies of the 1766 paper money have been found so far, and neither have they been reported only on literature. And if they existed, where could they be found? Could be in the archives in Spain. But we hope that this finding of the new copies of paper money will serve as a stimulus for the further study of Puerto Rican numismatics and numismatic Hispanic heritage in the history of the United States of America. I would like to show a video here.
Okay.
Si bien las monedas son usadas mayormente para el pago, la adquisición y el intercambio de valores, son también portadoras de la historia política y cultural de un pueblo. Y Puerto Rico sigue escribiendo la propia. Ya verán. La numismática es una rama de la historia que estudia las monedas y que, según los historiadores, se convierte en fiel reflejo del devenir político, social y económico de un país. Parte de nuestra historia, cultura y belleza ha quedado plasmada en la moneda de 25 centavos de dólar que recientemente se lanzó en honor a Puerto Rico.
Esta moneda en 1895 y 1896 Puerto Rico como provincia pudo gozar temporalmente de tener su propia moneda bajo siendo colonia española. Entonces nosotros hemos clasificado el periodo de la historia monetaria en Puerto Rico en 5. Entonces el quinto periodo, que es el más reciente, que es desde 1901 hasta el presente, el contemporáneo, es la dolarización. Y luego desde 1895 al 96, Puerto Rico nunca había tenido una moneda bajo el dólar estadounidense que tuviese el nombre acuñado de Puerto Rico.
Con respecto a la sociedad numismática, tuve el placer de pertenecer al comité de diseño de la peseta puertorriqueña, ser parte de ese comité que desarrolla una narrativa, algo que se va a leer por parte de la persona que va a hacer el diseño, en este caso yo Mena, quien tuvo que leer lo que nosotros le dimos para entonces desarrollar ese concepto y poder plasmar lo que en sí vemos ahora como nuestra moneda. Podemos observar en su reverso, que es donde están los componentes de Puerto Rico, la parte de atrás de la moneda, una garita del morro, y observamos la flor del hibiscus, dicho en inglés.
Puerto Rican people chose just a wonderful design for their quarter, and it features a century box and a hibiscus flower. You can see the century box in back of me. It's been here for over 400 years, and that symbolizes not only the strength and fortitude of the people here in Puerto Rico, but it also indicates a rich history that you have. The hibiscus is also on there, which is a flower that's very common here, but also illustrates the tropical beauty of the island of Puerto Rico. So your quarter is going to be quite the ambassador to not only the United States, but to the whole world as these quarters begin to circulate. The other thing that I think is very interesting is there's the saying, Ilsa del Encanto, which is the first time that Spanish has been used on a circulating coin in the United States.
A través de la moneda, tú desarrollas una curiosidad por países, por los estados, por elementos de la naturaleza. Y aquí estamos inyectando un elemento adicional de curiosidad para que las decenas de millones de americanos que coleccionan monedas, particularmente los jóvenes y los niños, al recibir esa moneda, se interesen por los rasgos culturales, sociales, geográficos de Puerto Rico y en su día pues nos vengan a visitar también.
Okay, I just wanted to show that video to end the presentation. It's not directly related to the paper money, but it has to do with the Puerto Rico State Quarter, and which the Puertorican Numismatic Society was very involved in it. First of all, I would like to. My grandmother is still living. She always tells me that to be thankful and be gratitude towards people, God, and everything. So I would like to recognize some people. Acknowledgement. I have a lot of people here. First, the memory of the long-lasting numismatic legacy to Mr. Eric P. Newman, whose work I highly admire and respect. There are 3 Puerto Rican friends and mentors who have passed away. Don Luis Antonio Rodríguez Vázquez, Don Humberto Costa, and Don Efraín Archilla Diez. To John, who was my first mentor, and he was numismatic, Charlie Davis, Chris McDowell, who's a great joy to work with, Barbara Gregory, who first gave me the opportunity to publish back in 2009 in the Numismatist, Jorge Proctor, Don Jose Manuel Enriquez from the Dominican Republic Association, Numismatic Association, Mr. Leonard Ausberger for his opportunity of participating as a recipient of the 2020 Newman Grant. To you, Liana, thank you. I'm very grateful for all your help.
Thank you.
Estrella, no, yes, and Don Lázaro Vergara from Cuba, and Luis Roberto Ponte, to all the members of the Puertorican Numismatic Society, Don Rafael Echevarria, Don Pepe Muñiz, the whole people in the Puertorican Numismatic Society, to my parents, Flora Nelson, my siblings, to my Don Manolo and Asori, and last but not least, my beautiful wife, Pilar, who she's the one who helped me out, and to my beautiful young sons, Lucas and Matias, who are always hanging around with that, and I hope I make them really proud. So with that being said, I end my presentation, and so we have questions. We might as well go through them, and the thing you see there in the paper in the middle is the paper money of Cuba, and
cool.
the one. Yeah, so, and the one on the left is a paper money from Dominican Republic. So if there are any questions and people, I don't know, we want to go through them.
Yep, we do have some questions.
Okay.
Real quick, since we're on this slide, the spade, it looks like there are spades on some of like figure 1A through 3A on the left there, like on playing cards. Are these in any way related to playing cards and the spades from this?
Yes, correct. There are playing cards. They were used as provisional paper money. The first one, they are original ones that were used in Cuba in 1782. I published an article of this paper money in La Revista Numiexpo of 2019, I believe. And the other one, figure 2, figure 3, they're counterfeits of the time. And there are also some other paper money, some similar to these ones. There are that were published in the book Historia de la Moneda de Cuba by one of the Cuban historians. The name is, I can't remember his name, but these ones are previously unknown, as was being told by Lázaro Vergara, Cuban numismatist. And yes, there are cards, playing cards, which were used as provisional paper money for Cuba.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so we do have some questions in the Q&A. Let's see. So did any Spanish paper money circulate in 18th century Louisiana?
That is a great question. I am still looking into it. That is a great question. Some of them, yes, they did circulate because of the scarcity of money. You see, the Mexican subsidy was it was an amount of gold and silver that was sent from New Spain, which was Mexico. It was sent to Cuba and then to the Dominican Republic, which is now, well, it was a Spaniard possession, and then to Puerto Rico. But it also went to Florida in St. Augustine, you know, and to the later it went to Louisiana. So if that Mexican subsidy did not arrive, or it was lost because of piracy, or there was a hurricane or something, everybody would go into an economic crisis. Therefore, they would have to issue paper money for commercial transactions, daily commercial transactions. But the problem is that since this paper money was not backed by silver or gold, it became very easily devaluated, and merchants wouldn't accept it in their commercial transactions. And the other thing that I did not mention is that the paper money was also, since it was very it was easily counterfeit, and they were placed in circulation counterfeit paper money with the legal ones, and it became a big problem for the commercial transactions at the time, both in Louisiana, Puerto Rico, and Cuba. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what led you to this research? As it appears these notes are uncollectible, at least at present.
Well, this particular research on paper money, it began back in 2005 when I took the course of the American Numismatic Association. I recalled back at the time I knew very little of numismatics. I had just finished my bachelor's degree in biology and did not know I knew very little about how to do research and all. And I recall asking John, hey, let me raise your hand. Where do you do? I used to do a lot of scientific research at med school and at UW Madison and all, and School of Veterinary Medicine, but I've never done historical research. So I asked John, hey, how do you do historical research? And I recall John said, you go to the archives. So therefore, I started going to the archives here in Puerto Rico, searching online and in the archives in Spain, and coming here in Ponce to the Archivo Municipal de Ponce. And I recall that back in 2005, there was one of the gentlemen that I mentioned who passed away. It was Humberto Costa. He at the time was ill, and I recall he told me he wrote a book about Puerto Rican paper money. He published it with the Western Bank, a bank that doesn't exist anymore. He published this book, and he told me, Angel, you try and see if you can find the paper money of 1766. I've dedicated my whole life studying paper money of Puerto Rico. I've never been able to find it, and I know you're very you like to do this, and you might as well try and find it. So I started looking it up, and I came across only with the 1781 paper money of Puerto Rico. And while trying to search for the 1766 paper money, I found the paper money, the ones you see here, the Cuban one and the Dominican Republic and the one Louisiana. And I found some pretty cool stuff. Just last week, I sent to Mr. David June, I believe he's from the American Numismatic Society. I sent him a paper for reviewing for a medal that was going to be issued in Philippines, actually. So I do a lot of research in different topics, and but it was because of Mr. Humberto Costa, who told me, Angel, try and see if you can find it. That's how I came across with the paper money. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Let's see. Do the General Archives of the West Indies mention Louisiana by name in connection to any of the notes your presentation shows, including the uncut sheet of 4 notes, of 8 notes, and the proof sheet with a note at the top?
Yes, they are. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. If you want, I can show you how to. If we have time, I think we have time. What time?
Let's see. Yeah, you still have about 15 minutes.
Okay, let's look it up. 1 second. I'm gonna look up here. 1 second. So we're gonna do an exact search. We're gonna do an exact search here. I'm gonna show you. I recall when I first started graduate school, I had this great friend who was a graduate student, and he told me, Angel, go and search the archives in Spain. They're digitizing everything, and you might as well find some stuff that you've never seen before. And that's how I started transcribing documents. Okay, let's see. We're gonna put this in here. Vale de 25 pesos para Louisiana. See, Louisiana is written in Spanish. Okay, so we're gonna search it up, and we're gonna see. And let's see if we can find it. There we go. Voila. You see, it's right here. But it's kind of hard. I mean, once you get a hang of it, how to search online, it's here's the paper money, the one we just saw. See? But there we go. But the supporting documents are not digitized, so you have to make a transfer and ask for them on the people in the General Archives of Civil. So this is, yes. Some of them are digitized, some of them not. Some of them you just ask for you have to pay in advance the reprographs and have them sent to you, and then transcribe the paper money, the primary documents, which are in Spanish, and then you have to translate them, and it's a whole process, yes. But some of them, yes, you can find them under Louisiana. Yes.
Okie doke.
What are the questions?
Do any examples of either the 1766 or 1782 Puerto Rican issues exist outside of the archives? And in other words, excuse me, it just moved. In other words, are any examples available to collectors? If so, how many might be available?
That I'm aware of, none exist. Outside the archives, none exist. They're only in the archives. If they are outside, I've never heard of them. Not here in Puerto Rico. Nobody has ever. Nobody has them in their collections, up to my knowledge. And I've talked to most numismatists here. None of them have a 1781 paper money. Not even Humberto Costa, who was the one who wrote the book. He did not even report. He did not have it even reported in his book. You know that there was a person who is considered the father of Puerto Rican numismatics. There are two people. First of all is Mariano Gonzalez and Jaime Gonzalez. Jaime Gonzalez in the 1930s wrote. He got a lot of transcriptions of paper transcriptions of primary documents of coinage of Puerto Rico, and he made like a whole book of transcriptions of documents regarding coinage of Puerto Rico. In it, he had some paper money that he had it. But in that book, he did not even have the 1781 paper money, not even the 1766. So they are unknown. They are unknown. Nobody has them, not to my knowledge.
What was the relationship of Gabriel Tinajero, Treasurer of Puerto Rico, with Louisiana? For example, did he have any official appointment or role in Louisiana?
Okay, not that I know of. I have not found Gabriel Tinajero in any of the documents that I have found so far. Some of the documents that I found regarding Louisiana issuance of paper money, some of them are published at the Journal of Early American Numismatics and the December issue, December 2019. And in it, I did not found nowhere. I did not found the Gabriel Tinajero name in it. So what I'm thinking is that, as Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez Vasquez, when I was talking to him, he told me it was very highly unlikely for Gabriel Tinajero to be in Puerto Rico and later on in Louisiana. It could happen, but it's highly unlikely to be signing both. Like if it was actually used the paper money in Louisiana, what I'm trying to think is that it was mistaken. Maybe it was mistaken the paper money, that particular paper money, the one, and it was for Puerto Rico. And it was maybe not used in Louisiana. That's what I'm thinking. But not Gabriel Tinajero. I've never seen his signature in any of the documents that I found so far in Louisiana.
Okay, looks like we have one more question in the Q&A, so go ahead and send questions promptly if you have any others you wanted to ask before we wrap up. The one we have left, are signatures commonly written like this in Spanish? I think on the Vale Ocho Reales note, I believe.
Yes, so you can see here, there are, for example, in this paper money, this says Vale Ocho Reales. You can see there's a signature there. And I believe what I'm reading, it says like Carrillo or Castillo. I'm not quite sure. In figure 1B, it says Castillo or Carrillo. I'm not quite sure. I have to look it up. But I have the transcription of that document. I have to look up if Castillo was a person of this one here, Castillo. So they were hand signed. If you see the paper money of Puerto Rico from 1815, which were issued by the first, by Alejandro Ramirez, which was the first Treasury Secretary of Puerto Rico, Alejandro Ramirez. He hand signed all the paper money. Yes, they were hand signed. Yes.
Very interesting. Let's see. Okay, I don't see anything else in the Q&A. So you'll have just another minute or two to send anything in there if you would like to ask it. Otherwise, do you have any closing remarks on him?
Well, no, I would like to thank you, Liana. You've been very helpful and kind to helping me out. I wish to thank all the people at the Puertorican Numismatic Society and la Sociedad Numismática de Puerto Rico for being extremely helpful. And, you know, I'm very grateful to my grandmother, everybody. I'm just happy, my wife, my kids. I'm very happy.
Good. Okay, well, that wraps us up here. We do have a presentation starting in, I think, about 10 minutes, from Greg Rohan talking, he is the president of Heritage Auctions, talking about the impact that COVID has had on the numismatic market. So that should be a very interesting presentation if you all want to tune into that one as well. Thank you all for watching and hope to see you again throughout the weekend.
Thank you, Liana. I truly appreciate your time.
No problem at all. Thank you for taking the time to present.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.